Oh, here. Oh, there I am. And how are y'all doing, everybody? I'm Dr. Gail. I've got Nancy Jean back in the back, but oh no, she's supposed to be in the studio, but I don't see her. Hey, everybody. I just sat here and got off the phone with her. And well, y'all know how I'm doing on StreamYard. Okay, I have got to go ahead and invite Nancy Jean back in again because I don't see her. She said she was in the studio, but I didn't see her. So I'm going to invite her back in again and see if she shows up. And then if not, I'm going to get Susie on the phone here and see what I'm doing wrong. Oh, Susie, please call me. I can't get Nancy Jean. She's back in the studio and I can't figure out how to get her on. Can you give me a call? I'm already screwing up everybody. I've invited her 100 times now, I think. And she said on her end, she is behind the scenes. And, but yeah, Susie, can you call me and help me? I appreciate it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Because I got you on so easily last time, and I don't know why I'm not getting her on. But anyway, so I'm gonna sit here and say hi to everybody. I see. Let me move it up here some. Okay. Oh, hi. Well, let's see. I'll start with hi, White Dragon. Hi, Juno. Hi, Suzanne and Vivian. Hey. All right. And Evelyn. Nancy Jean is here. I just can't get her on here. She is here. And I was nervous about this today. I still am. I was nervous about getting her on. But I'm going to call Susie. I thought she was going to call me and see if she can help me with this. As usual. Here we go. So, anyway.
Yeah, I was about to call you, but I was trying to get it on my computer so I could watch the show and talk to you on the phone.
Okay.
So I get it on my phone.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm trying to invite. Ooh. So I'm trying to invite Nancy Jean in, and I can't, and she's behind stage, and I don't see her behind stage like you were last time. So I don't know.
Yeah, you should see the little block there, just to click on.
Click on. I'm in the studio.
You don't see her at all. You see absolutely nothing in the backstage. You're saying.
No, and I am the only one. I see myself in that studio, but I am live. So why would I still be in the studio?
Oh, you clicked on yourself to be in the studio.
Right. But wouldn't I leave that?
So you could if you saw. Yeah, I mean, you could have waited to see her pop in the studio, and then
but
both of you to go live.
Yeah, but
but you've never seen her.
I've never seen her, but she's on her end. She's there, and I've done it as a double layout, and that hasn't happened yet either. So bear with me, everybody. This is. As usual, something's always going on, but I'm going to say hi to everybody. If you have any questions while we're waiting, when we're waiting on me, actually, we're not waiting on Nancy Jean. And I just got off with her and she says, I'm here. I'm in the studio waiting for you. And, so anyway, Dr. Gail's having issues again.
I can't figure it out at this moment.
Okay. The only thing is I can.
Because you did everything right last night. I mean, you invited her.
Right. Yep. She got the invitation.
Got the link.
Mm-hmm. She got the link, and she's backstage. She says she's backstage. Now, my question is should I be down in the little icon because I'm up live? Should I be down in the bottom still where you could see me in both places? I think that might be the issue. I shouldn't still be there, should I?
Not understanding exactly what you're saying. I mean, if you take yourself off, go back to go back and backstage. If you can go backstage and see her. Just come back on then. You don't see her anywhere. I mean, you should be able to see her from the screen or backstage.
I don't see her anywhere. Only thing I can think of is going all the way. Oh, there she is. Woohoo, there's Nancy Jean. There's Nancy Jean. Nancy Jean.
It was me. There's a little click at the bottom, and I've never had to do that before, and I clicked on it, and it sent me into backstage.
Yes. Yes.
Yay.
Thanks, Susie. I'm going to hang up now. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, everybody, I want you to know that this is the living personification of two troglodytes trying to find their way through this world. And if you don't know what a troglodyte is, go look it up, but it's what we were acting like.
Thanks, everybody. So now we have Nancy Jean here, and Nancy Jean has her own YouTube channel. I'm sure most of you know that, and she has Nancy Jean's Garden, and she does grids and she does gardens. And I do have a little funny story about the garden. When I saw her on YouTube for the first time about talking about the garden, now I had been following her for a long time, but when she started talking about the garden, I thought it was a real garden. I thought she was sending us like in a wooden box, plants in it. And I thought, well, there's no way I want to get something that I got to take care of like that. And anyway, that's what I thought it was. I thought that's what the garden was. But anyway, I am Dr. Gail, and I am a starseed healer. And Nancy Jean has everything in the book that she can do. I mean, she's been doing readings since what, 16? How old were you?
12.
12.
I've been doing it for 60 years.
60 years. I mean, it's amazing. She has so much information. She is so knowledgeable about everything. And she does great readings and of all kinds of readings. And she does readings before she does your grids. And I'm going to show y'all my grid that she made me. Now, mine is for, I keep forgetting what it was, realization. And this is my grid for realization. Boop, boop, boop. Always have trouble with the camera. Back it up to the left.
There you go. You're in the middle now.
Realization. This is mine. And it has done a lot. It sits up on top of my fireplace. And I have all my information taped to the back, so I can always look at it. And my intentions are taped to the back. So it's always there for me. I have it in a little plastic bag taped to the back. And so anyway, it's great. And anyway, I'm glad to see all of you here. I see Evelyn and Karen. Hi, Christina. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to see y'all here. And I see Evelyn and Karen. Hi, Christina. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to see you.
I'm muting my phone.
Okay. Okay. So I'm getting feedback here. I thought it was on my end. Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to talk about Nancy Jean's grids and her gardens. If y'all, well, Nancy Jean, you take it.
Okay. I think I'm at a bit of a handicap because I think the bottom of my screen isn't here, and I don't want to hit that one.
Well, I can see you up to your above your breast.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm saying on the screen I'm looking at, because what I did is I set up a slideshow of my grids to run for people to see, like a whole bunch of them all at once. It's pretty thrown together and very, very PowerPoint, and I don't think it's going to run. I'm afraid we've gotten this far, kids. We're not going to mess with it. Let's see.
Yes.
And it's not saying I can share the screen in any way. So, I can see the comments now. I got them turned on. Okay. And so basically the grids are the stone things she showed you. The gardens are, and I was going to show you a graphic of them too, of the garden, but I'm going to just show you the real garden. This is on my table right now as we speak. It's the other thing we couldn't get was 2 cameras to work with this sucker. But this is the garden.
And that's what I thought was a wooden box that she was sitting plants in.
And it's a what it is I downloaded that there had to be a way, because people are always saying, I'd like to work with crystals on my own. I'd like to have something so I could touch them. And I had a vision that there was a way to create an instrument, to create a field, a place where people could play and throw stones on it and get readings. And then I channeled that whole garden. Yes, you can go to garden videos. You're right. Vivian, thank you. And what you can do with the garden is when you get it, you get a small instruction sheet, you get a guide sheet that tells you what each stone means in each.
I can do this
The
demonstration.
space that they're in is called a tile, and the tiles are all of the chakras, and then some words like go for it, true, future, past, things like that. And then you've got earth, air, water, and fire. And the 5 stones that we read in the garden that I give you, you can roll your own. And I have some people who've started putting their own stones in. It's a body, mind, spirit, grounding, and clarity. And if you want to see how it works and see somebody doing it, every night about 7 o'clock, I run a daily show with Jeffrey's on it, Jeffrey Ripe Color from Ripe Color. That's not his last name. And I do a show, and he reads for that day and I read for that day. And then we sort of discuss how we both feel about the vibrations and energies that we get. And this month, from now until the end of March, every day I'm reading. After I visualized this, after we'd made it, after Alma had designed it, because I'm not the designer of that, guys. I have nothing to do with that. That was Alma. And after she designed it, and I got the stones and I started working with it every night, almost every night in the month of July and into August, I had a dream, because there's 22 spaces. I had a dream about waking up in that space. And so the visualizations I had were very, very different. It's like with water, I was in a meadow and it was all open around me. And the secret is, when in my visions, if I start in a structure or end up in a structure, it means that I've walked into ego. When I get out of the structures, when I get enlightenment about what the space is about. And in water, there's no structure. I was standing in a meadow. There's a small river going to a small, calm little lake. There are beautiful clouds floating above me. It was very calm and still. And then the next thing I knew, there was a fog around me, not a dangerous fog, just a fog. And then there was rain. So I got water in all of the ways you can get it, suddenly, blissfully, a little bit, a big chunk. And I explain in the things I'm doing with Jeffrey what each of those visions has meant to me. So if your mind ends up in there in water, it means that you're supposed to be letting things go, let go of limitations, drift out, try new things. And it's so if you want to see how it works, that's really the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to have a garden and read your own garden, and they are available on my store. And as of tomorrow, I'm going to be discounting them coming into the spring, because everybody should be planting their garden in the spring.
Well, I want to add one thing. Those videos that she's doing every day are only like 5-minute videos. And it's very inspiring for start your day, or you actually post them the night before you for the next day. So it's a nice little short video to watch.
And it's about you inside. It's about how we feel, the energy's flowing in, what energy you can tie into. And we have days when we say, and we both get it. He reads tarot and I read the garden, and we both get, whoa, this is, get your ducks in a row, because tomorrow you might have to do something, but today is not the day, and we pay homage to the moon and all that stuff. So it's just really, it's kind of a fun thing. And I'm as amazed as the next person that it works, even though I created it, and I've created it to be out there for people. And the grids are another thing. Grids are very individual. Every single one of them, I hand make them. I go find the stones. I go to a rock shop and find the crystals for it. And I have a couple decks I use to get to focus in on where you are. And it doesn't mean you need like 16 grids because you keep changing. It means that's the grid that begins to generate energy for you then. And then you just move forward. I had one woman who said, what'd you put in this grid? Because it was vibrating the whole way home from the post office. I could feel it going thump, 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 thump in the box.
I do have a little story about that too. When I called Nancy Jean, I said, do the grids pulsate? I'm mom sitting on the fireplace, and all of a sudden it looked like it was like pulsating. There was so much energy going through my house at that time, and I was getting all these down uploads or whatever, and it's just like, well, yeah, I guess it could.
I mean, trust me, I had another reader who he kept trying to fire it up and it wouldn't fire up, and so he said, well, I'm going to put it by my bed and see what happens. So he put it by his bed, and he woke up in the middle of the night, and his hand passed across where it was on the end table, and he could feel heat, and he went, holy shit, is it on fire? And then he realized it had decided to wake up. I've had one woman who got a shock up her arm when she charged it. I had another woman who I tried to charge it with her 4 times. And when she and I were talking, I said, I don't know what to say. So, I mean, I met with her, and we decided maybe because we started when Mercury was retrograde, it wasn't going to work. And finally I said, well, get out your intentions list and see if her intentions is sitting dead in the water. I don't know what to say. And she got out her intentions list, and we went over the 10 things she put on there. And out of the 10, the first 4 had happened, and the 5th one was just about to. I said, I think it's working. And I had one lady, I solicited from them, people who've gotten grids. I said, how's it going for you? And can I help you with it? And this one woman said, to be completely blunt and honest, my grid's doing absolutely nothing. And she said, but then to be completely blunt and honest, neither am I. So I think she was acknowledging she wasn't ready to move. What it does is it creates a power base that kind of revs up behind you. And the way I got into making grids was I saw some in Colorado that were like how you put your own freestanding ones together. And then I started studying the stones. After my trip to Colorado, I just became obsessed with crystals. That was not my obsession before. This was in 2018. And I became obsessed. And in early 2019, I built my first grid. And I asked for prosperity to get some fun things we wouldn't get otherwise. And I put not just my name and my kid's name, but I put a whole raft of friends. Man, I'm going to miss a chance if this was going to work. And the next morning, I opened up my emails, and there was an email from Dorothy Morgan, the astrologer. And it was offering me a free reading of whatever kind I wanted. And so I typed back to her and I said, yeah, well, I've studied astrology and I know my basic chart. So she did a progress chart for me. I will not bore those of you who cannot stand astrology with what all that's about. But it was a very good reading.
I'm the one that doesn't understand astrology.
And Dorothy and I talked, and I said, well, you're an astrologer, and astrologers do one thing. They write everything down. When did I do this? When did I do that? What worked? What didn't? And I said, can you tell me when you pulled my name out of your hat? And what she'd done is she pulls the name, or she used to pull the name of new people who've written to her that month. And she just gets those new emails out and just picks one. And she picked mine, and I said, what time was it? And she told me, and she picked it within 45 minutes of when I fired the grid up, because I'd written the date and time down on the grid. So that kind of convinced me maybe these work. And because of that, and I'm sorry I can't show you the slideshow, I was going to show you some of, because before I had to hide away from COVID.
Yeah, let's see some of the grids though.
I've got 2 I can show you because, well, and the third one I really can't because it's not stuck down. But this one is called Healing.
Oh, yeah.
And this is going into a unit where it's a nursing home where people go after like knee surgery and extensive surgery for repair. Okay. And then I have, and she also runs a memory care unit, and this one's going in her other memory care unit. And the reason I've had these for months is because we've never been COVID free enough in Dallas for me to go to her facility. Tenderness.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
going in the memory care unit.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of, and the stones that are in here are, when you get your grid, you get the complete explanation of what's on the grid. What you do with it after that's your own business. The center one in this is Chrysocolla, and that's for empowerment of feminine energy, ancient awareness, and communication. And the hardest thing for people who are in memory care is self-awareness, and that's what that one helps install. Then
Right.
it's got snow quartz, that little dot in the little dot in the middle, and that's for learn from your life's lessons. And then the orangey stones, the little ones, are citrine, and those for empowerment and abundance and protection. And then the ice calcites are for psychic development. The chrysoprase, which is the light blue stones, those are for happiness, just so they can be happy. Amazonite is to sleep, rest, and peace without anxiety, and that's sleep and rest. And then the ruby fusite, the green and red stones, these stones right here, they're really pretty. Ruby fusite strengthens love and friendship, connects your head to your heart, peace and inspiration. And then the blue kyanite connects all the crystals together. And you know, and I wish I really could show you pictures of the grids, because some of them are very different. Some of them are very angular. Some of them have clusters of stones. Like it's got like 3 sections for communication. There's 3 sections, and it's trying to connect all that together. So
We're good.
and so
Does anybody have any questions for Nancy Jean
about
about
grids?
grids or gardens? And then we can start into the ET stuff.
Yes, we can go.
We can talk
Oh,
about when Nancy Jean and I met, how she felt about me.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I'll tell them that while they're thinking. But when I first was told about Dr. Gail from a reader I really respected, and she said, "Oh, you've got to meet her, and she flies in outer space and fixes aliens and spaceships." If my eyes had rolled back as far as my head as they wanted to, they would never have come forward again. And then somebody said, "No, give her a chance, meet her." And I always give everybody a chance. I'm not that I have no discrimination in my life, and I met Dr. Gail, and she's just delightful. And then Dr. Gail worked with me and a friend of mine, and she's a real deal. She fixed someone I thought we were going to lose. And so, and I'm not going to tell that story because that's that person's story to tell. But and I started saying, wow, and so I began learning more about ETs. And I also have a really close friend who's been into ETs for a long time. And she just kind of reluctantly drags me along to teach me the things that, I get to that point where I'm like, I'm so old, I want to empty part of my brain so I can fit more in. But,
Yeah.
And I totally enjoy Dr. Gail. I mean, she's my go-to person for.
We have become really good friends.
Right.
And we're both on the opposite of the spectrums, but we're doing the kind of same things. But
yeah, I'm on the earth and she's way up there.
Yes, she's comfortable on Earth, and I don't like going into Earth. I want to be in the water, or I want to be in space. But I want to be on top of Earth. I don't want to go in there. But anyway, yeah. And there's another funny story about Nancy Jean is very connected to the I've lost the word.
Ley lines, energetics.
I'm talking about Jesus and all them.
Archangels.
The archangels and all that. I was just going to talk about the time that you came into the meeting that you lost 2 hours.
Oh no, the masters. Yeah,
the masters. And she was calling me and going, "What happened?" And I said, "You were in a meeting. That's where you were." And she was going, "Well, what meeting?" And I'm going, "Let me look." And it turned out to be the masters. And I saw her walking and she was just cussing under her breath, just shaking her head. She was mad. She was mad that she was in there. She didn't want to be there. But the most fascinating thing was I was sitting among the masters, because I was looking down at her, and she looked up at me and started laughing, and then she started kind of behaving. But they dragged her in a meeting because she didn't want to go to that meeting. She didn't want to have anything to do.
Yes, White Dragon, the Ascended Masters. The story is, and I learned this by getting my Akashic records read, but I have one of the oldest Akashic records I can find. I apparently came in as a starseed in Lemuria, and I've been on the earth ever since. And one of the people who did my Akashic records said, the masters are just delighted with all the work you're doing, because you're bringing in things that they wanted someone to do it, and they knew you could do it because you've been here so many times. And they said, and he said, why didn't you stay? They've wanted you to stay. And I had another woman who was looking at how I set up my life path this time. And she goes, you're sitting in a red robe and there's this whole group of people talking to you and they're telling you, you know, and she said, they're telling you not to come to Earth again. And you're telling them I'm coming. And, and she said, oh my God, that's a master's. And she said, did you know that? And I said, yeah, I kind of do. But after I channeled in the garden and the eggs and stuff, I started having some really strange physical problems. And it was from them pushing me between the vibrations too much. So I said, I want a break. And so they promised to give me a break. And then they really had something they wanted to tell me. So they called me back. And it was weird because I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And I always check my watch to make sure that my sleep functioning properly because I've had sleep problems in the past. And I left the bedroom and it was 1:03. And when I woke up sitting on the edge of the bed, and I had no memory of, not that my bathroom is that far from my bedroom, but I had no memory of walking back and forth across the rooms. And it was 3:05. And I was like, what? You know, and then I just asked my guides to let me go to sleep because I really didn't want trouble over this. And I called another reader the next day and I said, what happened between 1:00 and 3:00 last night? And she laid a few cards and she said, you were taken by aliens. And she said, you don't usually work with aliens. And see, that's why I went to Dr. Gail, because I'm like, what the hell, the aliens messing with me? I'm supposed to be addicted to Earth. I'm supposed to stay here. And they told her the masters had promised that they would not just zoop my energy and send me. So they sent aliens to take me to them. So.
Yes. And for some reason, I don't know why, I was the one sitting among watching her walk in, and I was the only one laughing at her. All the other ones were looking at her seriously, and I'm laughing.
Oh, they're serious. I mean, I think they're probably a great group, you know.
I mean, because Jesus has had such a great sense of humor, but I think they were all kind of scared of what you were going to say or do. And I'm sitting there laughing at you, and you looking up at me, and you kind of, I don't know, you kind of giggled a little bit or smirked, and then kind of settled down and walked on in.
But I tell you what, after going through all this and learning this about my background, I now understand how I made it to college without ever cracking a textbook. I just always knew what the questions were going to be and stuff. I mean, I just kind of drifted along like that. And
well, I wish I had that.
Well, you know, it's interesting now because I'll run into material like the stuff we've been studying about energy, the earth energy and the changes in the earth energy. And I can read through that stuff so fast. And where are you from, Wendy O, in Ontario? My mother was born in London, Ontario.
Yeah, thanks for everybody joining us. I see so many. I haven't been able to say hi to you, but thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for being here. Yep, we're up to 40. That's pretty good in the middle of the day. And so anyway, that's kind of my wild hair tales about where I've been. And the one thing that I was warned by one of the people who did the Akashic Records, to my kids know that if I'm really soundly asleep, that they're not to touch me because all of my energy may not be connected. Right. And I live with 2 of my grown children. And, you know, I live in the kind of family I can walk out and say, hey, kids, if I'm really asleep, don't try to wake me up. Yell at me. I'll come back to the call of your voice. And that's
and I just recently found out that there was beings out there that monitor us when we're not in our bodies or our energy's going out there. I didn't know anything about that until, you know, went and was learning about the timers or the timers, and that I just didn't know there was people out there or energy out there monitoring us getting back into our bodies. I thought that was pretty fascinating.
For the woman who lives in Kitchener, that's where my grandparents were from. That's where their farm was. Okay. We're talking family, Canadian stuff.
So anybody that's new here that doesn't know about me, I am my past is I am an operating nurse who specialized in open heart surgery and neurosurgery. I then went back to chiropractic school and practiced chiropractic. My mother passed away, and then my father developed dementia, so I needed to help him. I retired from all that and started helping my dad, and that was for about 8 years. And then after he passed away, all of a sudden, we were going into COVID, and I was going in, and it was the first time in my life that I had not been taking care of somebody. Well, all of a sudden, I had a spiritual awakening, and an angel came to me in my face while I was meditating, which was, I had just started meditating. I had not done that before. And she presented me with a bracelet, and I kept running to my friend Meg, going, I know I'm crazy. I know I have a brain tumor. I know something's wrong with me. And I really was going, I was concerned that I had a brain tumor because I worked, I've seen it. I work in brains, I work in hearts, I know what it looks like. And so I have met alien after alien after alien. I have met wonderful ones. And then, long story short, I was going on rescue missions, helping rescue the ETs, the aliens out of like Area 51s. And then I am now a surgeon on a spaceship where I help humans and ETs. And my special there is neurosurgery, where I take out implants and I get rid of negative entities. And I've got some new gifts that have been given me that are pretty fascinating. And I'll be revealing that soon. I'm just not real sure. I haven't gotten real grounded on when I'm going to reveal my new gifts. But it's just been the most fascinating life. I could not have asked for anything better, or to be able to help not only humans, but ETs also. So it's pretty amazing.
I have an answer for the person who asked, do ETs believe they have spirit guides, higher powers that look after them? Yes. Because I don't know if you guys watched the film, The Changing of the Gods, but it talked about how all of the universe is connected through the cosmos. And the way they tracked it was by the cosmos having given us the patterns of Pluto and Uranus, which is just a small part of Richard Tarnas's book. And if you don't like astrology, you can not listen now. But anyway, but what it talks about is that there are universal patterns within the cosmos. And part of my getting into grids and stones was to understand this universal energy that surrounds all of us. And it surrounds the ETs. And apparently they do work with the masters, because they're the ones who took me there. Yes, they can be connected to it. And I'm unfortunately, I'm very Irish. I was raised in a very Irish family. And one of the things I will tell you is that you just can't let any spirit in. If you meet energy, you kind of need to just be circumspect about the energies and learn how to shield yourself. And anybody who's in this chat, you can write to me. You can go to my website, go to my YouTube and find it. Get my email, and I will send you a thing called the Violet Flame. That's a really good safety prayer, and it's a good way to clean negative energy out from around you. I believe negative energy exists.
Yes. Here, Judy Buck has a question.
Mm-hmm.
I went to what was called a master's channeling. I was told I was 7th race. Can you explain?
That's 7th level. That's 7th level. You have the ability to go into the 7th level, and everybody's working their butts off to get to the 5th. So you've been around a while, girl.
Does that help, Judy? I know I've missed some questions. I just remembered I said, oh, I can highlight these.
Well, and that's the message they sent down for you, which just means you ought to be more open, because you've already been up there. So there's no need to tie yourself. For some reason, your soul chose to walk through the muck we live in right now. And I say that with great self-awareness, because I chose to come here too.
Okay. This is alphanumeric 1. Let's see, Dr. Gail, are there any messages from my guides? Thank you. Okay. I can check this out. Also, Nancy Jean is excellent at reading things and reading people. I mean, I'm talking about every modality you can think of, she can do. So let me see if I can get any messages from you, Alphanumeric. And Nancy Jean, you can go ahead. It takes me a few seconds or a few minutes to get into.
I've got a deck here that I just love called Luna Soul. When I do my past life readings, I use Luna Soul. And it's the one that I use to immerse. So I'm going to see.
Well, I ordered those cards that you have.
Surrender ones?
No, the Sacred Geometry, because I got attracted to that. Somebody in the chat
Oh, okay.
told me about it, and all of a sudden I've been looking for an Arcturian cards, and there are none out there. And then I saw that, I went, oh, Arcturian sacred geometry, hand in hand. So
this is called Sacred Geometry Activations.
yeah, that's the one I got, and I think it should be here tomorrow. And now I'm done ordering anything. I'm moving to Mount Shasta. I cannot.
Yeah, you don't need to order any more cards.
I'm downsizing. I'm downsizing big time, and so I'm like, that's it. I'm cutting off anything else coming in.
Yeah, I'll pull something out of Sacred Geometry for you.
And also, I'm getting that you have an Arcturian guide. That's what I was talking about, the Arcturians. I've heard about it.
See, don't ask me about ET races. You know, what I know about ETs is what I saw in Star Trek.
I'm getting that whatever she's doing now, it's the right thing she's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
She's going in the right direction is what I'm getting. So you go ahead, Nancy.
Oh, you got fertility.
Yeah.
And the message in fertility, the frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we've been before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into the new and grander expression of ourselves. So you're on a change journey.
Yeah, there's something you're doing that's right, or whatever.
And if I were you, I'd put a lot of blue-green stones around me, get some Amazonite, some chrysocolla, some chrysoprite, like that, the grid I showed you for healing, those bluish sort of stones. Ruby fusite's good.
All right. I know I missed some questions. I'm too busy listening. And I know there's some questions up here. Okay, let's see. Evelyn Smith, do ETs believe they have? Oh, you already answered that. A higher power. You already, yeah. Oh, they definitely do. Yes. Okay. Any more questions? I know I probably missed some up here, and I'm a little challenged on computer stuff. Oh, thanks, Vivian, for asking everybody to please hit the like button or the thumbs up. I appreciate that. So anybody have any more questions? Or
somebody asked about eggs.
Oh, well, go ahead. Did you see it? I didn't see that. I'm getting ready to show this one. So did you see the question on eggs?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Do I need to highlight?
Okay. In the mail as we speak, and I've been tracking it through the federal mail. The company that I got together with in June has finally conquered making eggs, but they can't make them like a huge assembly line. They can only make 4 or 5 eggs a day. And so to begin with, I've decided to have them make, and this is one egg I have that I'm not going to let go because it's the original prototype egg. And that's why I'm not letting it go. But this is a heart chakra egg. And as you can see, it's got the heart chakra symbol in the middle, and I'm terrible about keeping things even. Anyway, it's got malachite, and the new ones have blue lace agate because the original ones, the original 10 that we made had rutilated quartz, and you can't get rutilated quartz right now because the mines that make the best are in Brazil, and they're closed down because of COVID. So I will be having a big announcement about eggs next week. I'm not exactly sure when. I have to get them here. I have to look at them. I have to send them off to be photographed, and then I have to get them on my website. And then they're going to be first come, first serve. And the 2 eggs I have, you saw the heart chakra. I also have a throat chakra, which has lapis lazuli as the stone in it. It works the same way. You get a wand, you concentrate pulling your body energy into the egg and pulling the energy from the egg. And the egg is like a little grid in that it just becomes a little power thing behind you.
Now you're only doing the green and the blue, the throat
right now. And then I'm going to, after I see how those go, and I can build up a little more cash, guys, because I am going to ask people which chakra they want. And I have a funny feeling I know what direction it's going to go in from doing readings as long as I have. But I have all 7 chakras designed. I also have earth, wind, air, and fire, including the crystals that should be in them. Because not everybody likes the chakras. Some people like the elements. So, but eventually, and this company is so impressed with what this thing finally looked like. I think they were not sure altogether about me when we first started working together. They're not alone. They said, the guy wrote me and he said that they've put an extra technician on it. And these guys can't build them all day. The thing is, they have to pour them, put the medallion in with the stones on it, and then pour the top, and then marry the 2 of them and put them in a curing tank. And they have to cure for 24 hours. So it's a much longer process than you would think. And they've been really good for me to work with. I mean, they had some real problems at first. And the guy who is their acrylic fabricator, he said, I've learned more about acrylics, and this is my job, doing this. But he loves it. I mean, he thinks it's fun. And I pick out the stones. I don't trust them because I sent them malachite, blue lace, agate, and I sent along some peridot in case the malachites didn't fit in the egg. And I also sent them the lapis, just the lapis. And they put the peridot in the first throat chakra one they made for me, which is like wrong. I mean, it ended up going to someone I know who's a peridot freak, but it's not the stones. So the stones they get are ones I get from a vendor here, and I know they are what they really say they are. So.
Okay. Well, here's got another question from Strawberry Rhubarb Tarot. And last week you said I was doing data work with ETs on the spaceship and that I was a compliance officer. Could you elaborate? I'm not really sure how to elaborate, but I know you are a teacher in or you're still a teacher, or you were a teacher, and it has a lot to do with that. Because when I was seeing it, it was almost like, how you overlook people doing the work. Well, that's what you're doing as a compliance officer. You're overlooking to make sure they're doing their work right. And so when you walk in, they're all put their heads down and making sure they don't do paperwork, but all their computers, all the details are done, because you are looking over and making sure they're doing it right. So when you walk in, everybody comes to attention to what you're doing. But if you want to talk further about me, I'll be glad for you to email me, and then we can get together and talk a little bit more about it. And I did get the email address in the description box, and Nancy Jean's email address is in the description box, so you can look at it there. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope you understand what exactly you're doing. You're extremely important, but you're one of those kind of people that everybody's kind of, ooh, she's coming in. Everybody straighten up and fix their stuff right. So anyway, all right. Let's see. I did star some. Yes. Let's see if I can find some more here. All right. Let's see who's next. Well,
Have you found the one that says, how long before I'll remember my trips?
You can remember it if you want to remember it. I mean, or until you start agreeing that you'll go to them instead of them hijacking you, you're going now. But I still don't know why I was up there with them looking down at you. I don't know if I was one of the ETs that brought you there, or I don't know why I was sitting among them looking at you. But I was very comfortable sitting there. And
well, I think they wanted to finally let me know what was going on, because I was starting to freak out about where did they take me and why did they hijack me.
Yes. Well, they wanted you there. I don't know what that important meeting was about, but I was there too.
Well, that was a Dr. Gail question. Dr. Gail, how long before I remember my trips? How long did it take you? Do I have an ET guide? Thank you.
Well, it took me, I didn't see that question. I started meditating. I mean, when we went in on COVID, I had this whole long laundry list of things I was going to do. And, one of them was learning Spanish and, losing weight, of course, but went by the wayside, but reorganizing my whole house and painting the deck. I had all that stuff. And one of them was start meditating. and I started meditating, and that's when it happened. Everything started opening up for me. Now I've been going up to the spaceship and being trained as an infant, so I've been doing it all my life. It's just that I didn't realize it, and that's what it took for it to open up for me, was to start meditating. And yeah, I mean, I was put in as an infant. I was being trained on the Space Force, so yeah, that's how it happened for me. So I'm not sure how it will happen for you, but that is how it happened for me. And I think everybody's a little bit different. I mean, because you are working. Most people who are watching me now, who are interested in the ETs and things, they're generally already connected to them, and they already probably are working. I mean, they're probably going to sleep. Like Nancy Jean lost those 2 hours. Well, she went up to the masters.
Well, from being on the earthly side of these things, when you go into these shifts of consciousness, you don't always remember everything. And what I always warn people when I do readings for them, come up with your questions that you're going to have really pretty quickly, because within a couple days, unless it's been something that really was very, very close to me and I could totally relate to it, I won't even remember your questions. So not I won't remember
Right.
you, but when I do your grids, I take down a lot of notes, because I have to keep a memory of where you were at that time and my whole impression on it, because it's not my journey.
Right.
You
Well,
know, it's yours, and I have to process it out so I can stay here and be whole.
Well, I think also when most of us who are doing readings and things is coming from somewhere else, and it's just we're just coming through us to you. So if we retained everybody's reading and information, our heads would be, whoo. So we're just feeding the information, because I do write things down. I am a writer, so I'll sit here and write all the time. And when I'm doing a reading, I'm writing. And by the time I finish, I have all this information on there, and I do save my charts and things. That's my nursing and chiropractic background. So I do have a chart on everybody. But if you were to call me up and say, what to do, I would have to go, I have to go read your chart, or I have to go find out, or I have to get back into your energy. It just goes away. And I think that is for our own safety or whatever.
And it's for your good too. You don't want us rattling around in your consciousness.
Yes.
At least I wouldn't want me rattling around in someone's consciousness.
Now tell me what we might be doing at one time, and we'd be connected to you. So, or what we're thinking. Okay, let's see. This is Aaron Mist. Oh, hey, Aaron Mist. Hi, Dr. Gail. Are you familiar with an alien that is all white, large bulbous head, large dark almond shaped eyes, and shy, sweet? Well, the grays are a lot of times white in color, and they do have a big head. And they do have the large dark almond shaped eyes. So on the spaceship, I do see some white. I mean, they're so light gray, I would call them white. So air mist, I think that's probably a type of gray, or maybe even a gray hybrid, more like a gray hybrid that you're seeing. And shy and sweet, they probably were shocked that you saw them, because your vibration probably increased for them to be able to see you. And they've probably been around a long time. And then all of a sudden you saw them. So probably they're a little shy and sweet. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. All right, let's see. Any other? Let's see. What have I missed here?
Is there a reason I can't find a reader who can see me? I don't know if that means you can't get someone who can set up an appointment with you, or if you have readers that you think miss the mark completely on who you are. I'm not sure how that question reads.
I see Strawberry Rhubarb Terry. Yes, your head would explode if you had to store all the readings for people. And
that's right.
Yeah. But I think it's true. I mean, you don't want us so connected to you like that. You got to go on with your life. What is this one here? Vivian, I hope you won't have another wardrobe malfunction. Yeah. Yes. I don't know if y'all heard that story about my uniform. The first time I went up, well, I had been going up to the spaceship a lot. And this was a time that actually my dog Moon and I had been down at the beach, and we had been in the water, we've been in the sand, we were nasty. and we were called up to the spaceship, and it was immediate. They needed me up there immediately. So we showed up all dirty, nasty, and anyway, so they had a cleanup crew that came out. There was like I don't remember how many came for my dog Moon. They cleaned her up and they took me to the room and cleaned me up and then put me in a uniform. All the ETs are thin, very thin. And they put me in one of their uniforms. And it was so tight, every bulge showed. And I had to go into a meeting like that. That was my first meeting. That was for first contact with whoever's going to come first. And I had to go in, and it was a black suit with a gold across the front and every bulge. And I was walking stiff-legged because I could hardly walk, and I had to sit down. It was awful. Within a couple of days, they had me another suit uniform for me that fit, but that was so embarrassing. I mean, I don't think they'd ever seen anybody with curves. They're all so thin, and here I show up with everything hanging out. But anyway, that was that was major wardrobe.
And that story should prove to all of you why I want to stay earthbound. I'm just happy.
They didn't even notice hardly, I mean, I was only human in that meeting, and they didn't even pay attention to me struggling walking in and then trying to sit down. I was so afraid it was going to rip, but it didn't. I don't know what kind of material that was, but that was some strong material that didn't rip when I sat down. So, okay, let me see what else we have here. Let's see. Hey, Terry. Oh, see, you're lurking. Hey, yeah, Terry, I need to talk to you. I got some more information on you, and now I can't remember what it was. But anyway, give me a call when you get a chance. I had some information for you, and it was more about what we had been talking about. So,
Dr. Gail, we missed a couple questions.
I know we've missed questions because
I would love to know my origins. Can you do their origins without having a longer conversation with them?
Who is that?
Vivian, above where you are right now. It's before
Vivian.
she asked about the wardrobe malfunction.
Go ahead and talk while I'm looking for it.
Okay. Well, there's another one. I've been told I'm a Palladian. What do I look for in messages from my guides? And I know this lady. I can easily believe you're a Palladian from the way you look now. Easily. I've been told that my most basic roots were Palladian, and it's they're supposed to be long and tall, and I'm not. But apparently that slipped out of my gene pool somewhere along the line. But I can believe that, and from your guides, you just have to be open to listening to the words or the sounds. It depends on how they speak to you, and you can meditate on that. On how can I connect to my guides and find out. And one of your guides is named April. So,
who is it that you're talking to?
Melissa Miller.
Which one?
Melissa Miller.
Melissa Miller. Okay. All right.
And then,
I've gotten lost on the comments.
Okay. LD Scott, I can read it to you. LD Scott, I don't remember my dreams. What do I do at night when I'm asleep?
I will probably, well, a lot of us are going up and working elsewhere and being trained to do other things. And more than likely, that's what's going on with you. I'm not sure where you're going up. In fact, I wish I could get back to that comment, or if you could rewrite that comment, maybe I could connect a little better with it. Because
I know you can work with yourself before you go to sleep. Ask your mind to hold on to your dreams, and then be ready to record them when you wake up, because they don't last long. Even if you're trained, unless you have a profound dream, you're not going to remember it. And when I was channeling in the garden, I had my phone set so that all I had to do, and I knew exactly where to hit to go to microphone, and I would record what I had just seen. And then in the morning, I'd get up and transcribe it.
Well, yeah, that's what I used to put paper beside my bed, and I never did that, but my phone is right there, and I typed a few words in it that I can remember when I wake up and do that. And then the next morning, it's enough to jar my memory of what that dream was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really remember my dreams much, but you can tell when you get up tired, extremely tired, and that you're really thirsty and you're craving salt. That means you've been out there working somewhere, and those are the kind of the indicators. And so now you can have that excuse whenever you wake up tired. Oh, I was working all night on a spaceship or out there somewhere.
Filtering in information. Okay. Okay, right below where you are is the next question in the list. ESL.
I don't remember my dreams. Oh, okay. I sleep with the notebook. It helps affirmate. Yeah. Good. Yes.
You know ET guides better than I do. I don't know if my guides are ETs. I know that the two main ones had a human life, and they've let me see what they did as humans.
Well, that's kind of what I thought it would be a good discussion between you and I and everybody here is how do you tell the difference? Because I can see the difference. I can see the difference of an angel, an ET, or a human, and I can see them. I can see them. But how do you tell what the difference is?
I met my main guide, Addie, and I didn't meet her till I was 69, guys. So if you don't have a guide yet, don't freak.
Yeah.
I went to a Brian Weiss seminar, the guy who did Many Lives, Many Masters, and he did a 5-group hypnosis that day, and one of them was to go meet your guide. And I met my guide, Addie, and in the life I saw her in, she had been a slave, and she was on a plantation. She was a slave. She'd been taken from Africa to that plantation. It was in the Carolinas. I don't know where. And we had a long conversation. She explained to me the reason I was here. And I talked to her. And then after that, I did some automatic writing where I let Addie speak to me on a piece of paper and tell me more about her journey. And she was already an ascended soul, but she came back to help those people get through that horrible, trying situation of being torn from their land and coming over here. And then my second guide I met because I said, okay, I know about Addie. And I sat down and did some automatic writing, and I found Frank. But if you want to find a book it's all angel based. They don't talk about ETs, but it's called Angels Speak. And there's an E on the end of the speak. And it's a short, tiny little book. And I know it's online. When I first found it, it was out of print. Now it's back in print. And they will tell you so many of the steps you can do on your own, so you don't have to call us or talk to us to find out what to do. And I've used a lot of their techniques to figure out how to get connected to things. It's really, really interesting. The two main guides I have, Addie and Frank. Frank was also an ascended soul, but he was born into Albania, and he came over during a time when there's a lot of famine in Europe, and he came over with the people from Albania to help them come to this country, come to the U.S. and learn how to live here. And I've never seen Frank's face. I only see him walking in a great coat that's made out of leather. And he's walking ahead of me. And he told me, well, you did one thing for me. And I said, what? And he said, you went back to 5 Points and looked at it for me. And he had come into the U.S. and gone to a place called 5 Points. And if you don't know what it is, there's some famous movies made about it, but it was rough. And it was in the late 1700s, early 1800s, New York. And he helped his people there. And that's what he does for me. He's a protector. I have an enormous protector, and I need one because I walk into the strangest places.
It's funny that you're saying that, because Zeta, about protectors, that's exactly what I'm getting on her, is that she has a Palladian that's protecting her. And I'm not sure why you have one that's protecting you. Like, it's almost like he's overwhelmingly protecting you right now. I don't know what's going on in your life. Nancy, maybe you can read on that, on why.
Well, maybe it's not just you. I have Frank not only protects me, but I can lend his energy out to protect my kids. And a lot of that has to do with further adventures of what's going to be coming towards me as I learn more and understand more of my total mission here. I don't have like a Star Trek mission. My mission is to help other people find the different spiritual paths and to be confident enough in them to help them. But I'm not going to handhold anybody. I'll build you a grid, and then it's your grid, and you got to work with it. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but Zeta, can you pull like maybe kind of do a little mini, see why she's being protected? I'm not sure why she's being protected right now, or is that what you're getting? Is from somebody else?
She's being protected in part from learning too much too fast and getting
Okay.
confused. That's why he's there. He's helping you filter the information so you can deal with it.
Okay, so I hope that helps, Zeta. Anyway, so
and you can feel like, trust me, when Frank's in the room, it feels like 6 people are here. So,
well, that's how this blading, because I kind of feel like he's like over her, protecting her, and maybe that's it. He's filtering out the information. That would explain that. All right, we are getting close to. Well, we're at an hour, so we're going to take just one more question. Let's see. Wendy. Oh, wait a minute. I got some start up here. I've learned about the starring. Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Wendy. I felt like my guys have left me, but not sure. No, they're not. They haven't left you, Wendy. They might. You do have guys that do change, but they're there. You're probably going through a difficult time connecting, or there's some upgrade that you're going through. Because I go in and out connecting with mine sometimes too. And usually there's a lot going on in my life when they're seeming a little more distant, but they'll come back in. They're there, but you do have some that do change. So you could be going through a changing of the guards, but your main one's always there. What do you have to say about that, Nancy?
You can call in special guides. If you get stuck in a place, if you learn a little more about the archangels, you can just say, hey, you got a spare angel, and say, I need help with this situation. I'm going through something with someone who's close to me, and I can't help them. They need to help themselves, and they're trying to reach out to make me help them. And, I've had to have the strength to say, call me when your head's screwed on a little straighter and you're not screaming at me for what you did to yourself. But obviously it's a family member. If it's a stranger, they'd have been off the phone the first floor. But you just have to call in those guides and angels, and then you make, trust what they tell you to do. And I know it's hard sometimes, and sometimes it's, oh, how did I miss that? When you miss the synchronicity, and you haven't. If you finally realized it was there, you haven't missed it at all. You've just gotten to the point where you can use it. I think people are really hard on themselves because they hear about these people talking about their angels. Talking to a reader about the things that are going on around them, you got to realize it's like reading someone's Facebook feed and thinking that's their life.
Right. Okay, I hope that helps, Wendy. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Thanks. I am feeling a bit lost in life lately. Yeah, they're letting you kind of.
Well, the energy on our planet is lost in life. It's like deja vu all over again. I didn't ever think I'd be here.
Right. Okay, guys. Thanks for everybody coming and being with us. Thank you, Nancy Jean, for showing us your grids and talking about your garden. And thanks for everybody. We had a great showing today. I appreciate it. And I will see y'all later. Thanks.
Okay. And I'll be on tonight.
This is all for entertainment purposes.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'll be on with Jeffrey and Ripe Color on my station, I think tonight, if tech support ever gets down here and gets a thing. If not, it's on 7:00 on his channel every night. And we'd love to have you come over, and you can get quick. This month's going to be good because if you want to learn about the garden, it's a great place to start.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.